Round 4, MJ. Today, we close the show. We wrap it all up. We give our final predictions for the AFC and NFC North. Welcome back. We just spoke yesterday in our lives here. This is coming out into the future. We just to know, there are some things in the air out there. This is being recorded on August 18th, and will not drop until August 26th, so about 8 days ahead of time. So if something happens in the meantime, just don't yell at us too much. So, MJ, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. Thanks for having me. Just to piggyback on that a little bit, what was it, yesterday or the day before, the Eagles made the trade for, who was it? Help me out here.
Yeah.
A wide receiver, right? Oh my God. I just had it in my brain when you were talking, and then I really wanted to slide in the Hulk Hogan thing.
Mechie.
Yeah. Which from the Texans, kind of a wild thing there. You know how I feel about it. The rich get richer sometimes, but
it seems to be how it is with the Eagles.
Yeah. So that's right just for instance, that just happened. It's relative news now. 8 days from now, it's not going to be nobody's going to remember it, but.
Yep. All right. So we're doing AFC, NFC North. We'll start in the AFC North rather. And I know at the end of tonight, we're going to do, your entire win-loss that you have mapped out and done the math on so that it all checks out.
It does all check out. I did it twice actually to make sure.
So, all right, we head to the AFC North. Just a little reminder from last year, the Ravens win the division 12-5. The Pittsburgh Steelers 10-7. The Bengals 9-8 with the 6th best scoring offense, 25th defense. Just wanted to note that with the Bengals. The Browns 3-14, and also the Ravens had the 3rd best offense. The Browns had the very worst. So, wide range of things here in the division. Ravens and Steelers, top 10 defenses. Browns and Bengals, bottom 10 defenses. So there's a lot happening. This may be one of the more interesting divisions to me.
Yeah.
I think the 3 best teams, you could call, the best 3 teams in any division. The Browns being where they're at really drags it down, and still feels like there's a lot of uncertainty with the Browns. So yeah, there we go. I teed you up, and take us where you want.
Well, I just overall, I think, last week we talked about the West and how good I think the AFC West is, and I think it's the best division in football only because the assumption I think on everybody's part is the Browns are going to be kind of bad. And I think the Raiders are just slightly set up to be better this year than the Browns are. So that to me, but this is a really good division. It really is. It probably has 2 of the top, you could argue, top 4 teams in the league, possibly. You could argue.
Depends what you get out of the Bengals defensively.
Yeah. But I mean, we can start down at the bottom. We brought up the Cleveland Browns. I don't want to spend too much time on it. There's an old adage, I think it's mostly brought up in college football, that when a team doesn't know who their quarterback is, you don't have a quarterback.
Yep.
And there's been so much made of the Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, and Deshaun Watson's coming back from a Achilles injury, torn or ruptured Achilles. So he's going to be out for a little while. You got old man Joe Flacco, who I respect a lot as just a professional quarterback. And then Kenny Pickett, who from our time a couple years ago in the draft, that I just don't have any real value in as an NFL quarterback, especially a starter. And to me, there's still conversations in media where it's like, well, what's Shedeur going to do? Is Dylan Gabriel the one? This is Joe Flacco's team.
I think it is for the first 6-7 games at least.
I think
right?
so. And to
kind of echo your point about the quarterback thing, I think the one you're going for is if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, whatever that is.
They have 4.
Yeah.
They have 4.
5.
So, yeah, just ridiculous.
So my biggest question there is, like, what do you do with them? Like, you don't see a lot of teams cut rookie quarterbacks that they just drafted. That's rare, unless it's like an undrafted or really late. Like Shedeur was a 5th rounder, right?
Yeah, but the thought of them cutting either Shedeur, they're not going to cut Gabriel where they drafted him.
Yeah,
but like the thought of them cutting Shedeur Sanders is mind-boggling.
So I mean, and I don't want to spend a ton of time on this because I don't think it holds much value to what I feel about them as a whole. But like, what do you do? So if you, like, to me, you cut Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
You hold on to Joe Flacco and let him ride it out. And maybe he's still got a year left in him a little bit to like be productive.
Be an influence in the quarterback room.
And then what happens when Watson comes in? So do you keep Dylan Gabriel as your backup and then have Shedeur kind of on standby, practice squad? But
it's kind of like, why did you draft Shedeur?
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, you obviously graded Dylan Gabriel significantly higher than him. So you go out and get him, which makes sense. You want to, build a quarterback for the future, but why 2? Why bring in Kenny Pickett when you have Flack? Like, it's just the Browns being the Browns.
Yeah, and what's frustrating, like, I can literally, like, almost word for word read what I put down here. Really, the only part of this team I really enjoy right now is some of their young players. Like, this team does have some nice players. I like their defense. I think their defense is going to be okay. And I don't think their offense is going to be as bad as last in the league like last year. I think it's going to be like a okay-ish to below average offense.
I tell you what we won't get from them. We won't get that one magical Thursday night with the snow falling.
No, we won't.
And Jameis just staring off into the sky.
It gives me chills thinking about it, man. He should be a starter. He should be a starter.
The horses are ready to lead.
You know what? Maybe the Giants will do an in-division trade with the Cowboys. Give us Jameis in Dallas. How great would that be? And we'll give
just on the sideline, Jameson it up.
We'll give Milton to New York, another young piece that they can just kind of whatever with, But anyways, like, they got some guys. I like most of their draft picks besides 2 quarterbacks late in the draft, like the Samson running back from Samson, Dylan Sampson in like the 5th round or 4th round. That was a good pick. They already they doubled up on running backs too with Quinton Judkins from Ohio State, who I think can be a really nice player. They still have Jerome Ford, who's been in the league for a few years now. The Schlesinger kid from UCLA, not a bad pick. And you get maybe the best D tackle in the draft in Mason Graham from Michigan. Like, you have some pieces to go along with Myles Garrett and Malik Collins up front. You got Devin Bush, linebacker. Like, they have some guys in the secondary that can play. The offense is okay. The line's not terrible. It's just, I just think this team has so much like noise and weirdness about it. I just don't see him being very successful. So I don't want to spend a ton of time on it. But
second toughest schedule for the preseason.
I think this is a 5-win team. I have them 5-12.
4.5 the over-under.
I think that's fair. And then you just got to figure out your quarterback. Like, maybe they're a year or 2 away of being competitive again. Maybe.
I mean, you run through the names and you're like, man, these guys.
Yeah.
There's stuff there.
There really is. There really is.
Who knows? Who knows with the Browns? I think is the thing. Always.
You watch, man. The Browns would be like super competitive this year or something too. You know what I mean? Like,
they'll be in a bunch of games probably.
Yeah. I mean, you got Myles Garrett.
They may not win them all.
You can stay in some games.
Yep. All right. Where to next? I'm gonna guess. Are you working your way up?
Sure. I can do that.
I'm gonna guess Steelers.
Yes. That's a pick. That's probably popular. So, quick fact: I read this leading up to this episode. This is Mike Tomlin's 19th season. Isn't like that? That felt kind of crazy to me, I guess, and maybe not to some other people. But 19 seasons.
I would have, if you would have put me on the spot, my initial thought would have been 15, but then, yeah, he's been around since right after Cowher.
Yeah. It's just, to me, I feel like I remember Cowher like the late 2000s, early 2010s for some reason, and that's not true. It was like the mid 2000s when he left. So I don't know.
Tomlin's first year was 07. I think a lot of that can be that, like, that was still Cowher's team.
Yeah.
I think, like, that's the big knock on Mike Tomlin. It's like, yeah, you won the Super Bowl, but, like, that was Cowher's team.
True.
Like, it was Hines Ward and Troy Polamalu, and, like, Cowher had built such a culture there that, like, those guys were carrying it out for the team that, like, you didn't have to do much as the head. Like, just keep the wheels rolling if you're the head coach.
Yeah.
So.
And I think they'll be slightly better than last year. Were they 8-9 last year?
They were, I believe they were 10-7 last year. 10-7.
Jesus. All right. Well, they're going to be slightly worse, I think, this year. But no, in very 8 to 10 wins. So I have them going 9-8. But to me, my biggest thing is this is the same team as last year for me. Just look at the departures: Justin Fields, Russell Wilson. Right, young guy leaves, old guy leaves. They bring in old guy Aaron Rodgers, not really young, but Mason Rudolph, has been around. They bring him back. Mm-hmm. You lose a physical specimen, deep threat, can catch it everywhere, and George Pickens to Dallas. You bring in DK Metcalf.
Yep.
You lose some guys up front. You bring in a couple guys up front. You bring in veteran Darius Slay. Like, you lost Dante Jackson. Like, so to me, it's like it kind of feels the same a little bit. Mm-hmm. I really like, if you're looking for like fantasy stuff, I think Caleb Johnson, the running back from Iowa, could be really good as a rookie. They bring in Kenneth Gainwell. Their receivers are okay. My big question, at least with the offense, and we can talk about Rodgers, I'm sure you have some opinions on that too, but like, he's always kind of had his guy a little bit everywhere he goes. So you got your Jordy Nelsons, you got your Randall Cobbs, even James Jones had like one big year in Green Bay. Devontae Adams, whether it was the Packers or the Jets, and even like a little bit of Garrett Wilson, like where it was like, hey, it's 2nd and 11. I'm 90% of the time I'm going there. If it's 3rd down and 4, I'm going there. So is DK that for him now in Pittsburgh?
It's a different type of receiver for him. He's never had a guy like DK.
And we've never seen that out of DK Metcalf either. Like, his time in Seattle was always kind of just like shock plays. And I know, and I'm not discrediting him. I think he's an incredible wide receiver. Like, but to me, he's not like the Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams, where all of a sudden, like, consistently, he's going to have 7 to 12 catches in a game for 98 yards.
Like a great route. He doesn't come off as like a great route runner. And hey, maybe he's a better route runner than we give him credit for, because like you get wrapped up in how big and strong and fast he is and that he runs so many verticals. Yes. Maybe they're doing something different, because, I mean, I'm reading, I've got an article up, kind of walk me through it, and it's like Arthur Smith plans to build an offense around him.
Fair enough.
So, like, we may see a different kind of DK Metcalf than we're used to.
The other point on Rodgers I wanted to bring up, since we're kind of talking receiver quarterback stuff, is, Russell Wilson got a lot of flack for his time in Pittsburgh there with, I don't think they got out of him what they expected. Mm-hmm. So you bring in a quarterback that's even slightly older, coming off some injury stuff. Like, is this offensive line good enough to protect Rodgers? And is Rodgers good enough to get outside the pocket still, move around, do all those things? That's a worry to me as well, because you can say what you want about Russell Wilson. The guy can still move a little bit. He's pretty athletic for his, being an older quarterback, and, some bootleg stuff and everything. Like, you saw him extend some plays and make some deep throws in Pittsburgh. That's not really Rodgers game. Now, I do say Rodgers is probably better at anticipating, maybe slightly better arm when it comes to accuracy stuff. But when and if he needs to move around, is that going to be a problem where it leads to another injury? And then you got yourself stuck with Mason Rudolph for it seems like 2 decades, but I know it's been probably 6 to 8 years that he's in and out of there. So
if I could give an optimistic look at Rodgers, because everybody knows the downside. He's old. He had the Achilles injury. He's never been a big run for the sake of running, but he used to move around the pocket, get outside the pocket to kind of create. Could pick up a little first down here or there if he needed to in a big moment. But if you go back and you look at his stats from last year, they're not bad. 63% completion rate, a little on the low side for him if you compare it to the 21-20-19 year. But this is his last year was very comparable in completions, attempts, completion percentage, yards, touchdowns to the 2019 year, which is the first year the Packers kind of bounced back with Matt LaFleur and went 13-3. And there were moments that year where he didn't seem to be totally himself. I can think back to conversations I had watching those games, and he was just missing some of the passes he always hit. And then the next 2 years he started hitting those passes again. And that 2019 Packers team was kind of fake compared to the 20 and 21. Those were the teams that should have actually won the Super Bowl. But if we're comparing him to the rest of the quarterbacks around the league, I think he's still top 12-ish.
He's probably in the
range.
Conversation of around there, I would say.
I think he's going to have a solid year.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't think he's still the guy that can just put the team on his back and just carry them like he did for, after the Super Bowl year and the next 2 years after that in Green Bay, where they got kind of crummy. And you just look back at the records, out for injury. Even the 2012 team wasn't that good anymore. 11-5. 2014, after he came back from injury in 2013, 12-4, 15, 10-6, 16, 10-6. And those teams were not good football teams. And he was just carrying them.
I disagree with the 2014 team. That was a pretty good team.
They were okay.
Des caught it in that game. But
did he, though?
He did.
But either way, I think Rodgers, with some of the pieces they have around him, I think he can be successful if Father Time hasn't caught up too much.
I 100% agree. And I will say the strength of the Steelers is still their defense. And when you have a good defense, as long as this team stays healthy, there are playmakers all over the place on this team. And that's not even just, you got your TJ Watt and stuff, but they got some young guys. They got some veterans on this team. They bring in Jalen Ramsey. They got some guys on that side of the ball.
Yep.
And I think as long as the offensive line is good with some of their young pieces like Broderick Jones and Fontenot there at tackles, this team could be a surprise. I don't think it would surprise me if they won 11 games this year, 12 games. Yeah. Who knows?
And if you have a defense that behind Rodgers, if you got Rodgers can get into years where he throws more interceptions, but when he's in control and doesn't have to force it, the guy's just not going to throw interceptions.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Let's see. Are you going to be big on a bounce back year for the Bengals, or do you think the Ravens get it done in the division?
It's close, man. I really, really wanted to. But I'm going with the Bengals in second.
Yep.
I do think this team is really good. I really do. I think the defense is going to have a somewhat of a bounce back year. To me, you lost 4 games last year, and correct me if I'm wrong, they were a 9 or so win team, or 9 wins.
9 wins. Yes.
You lost 4 games on a 9-win team when you scored as an offense 33 points or more, and you lost 4 games. That's really hard to duplicate, I feel like, in the NFL. I think this is going to be a Joe Burrow finishes top 3 in MVP, possibly wins it season for him. I really like the pieces on offense. I think they have a good tight end group. Obviously, their wide receivers are incredible in T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. I think their offensive line has some young guys, but also guys who I think can still get better. Like, I think they still have some room to grow. And it's still an offense that's relatively intact, the same as last year. And they could score 40 on any given night against any team. They proved it. They can score. They could score against the best defenses in the league. If this defense can just be a top 19 or 18 team in the league, that's it. That's all you need. And they're going to win a ton of games. I have them winning 12 this year. I think they're going to be really tough, and I don't think there's going to be a slow start this year.
Yeah, they were what? Oh, I was just pulling up their schedule.
0-2 in the
0-3.
Well, they've been 0-2 in 4 of Zach Taylor's 5 seasons. 4 out of 5.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah.
The 0-2 number, I think it's a little different now with the one extra team in the playoffs, but I mean, that used to be death.
Yeah. I also, the Trey Hendrickson thing is a big deal in Cincinnati for Cincinnati fans. You got to figure out how to pay him. He really helps this defense, and I know they have so much money in the 3 big guys on offense. It's hard. You got to figure something out. You can't have him waiting around. Like, he's got to play. So,
do your cap gymnastics, whatever you got to do.
You got to do something.
Yeah, I love Joe Burrow. I think he is top 5 quarterback in the league. I think he's been dealing in his time in Cincinnati. It's not like the teams have been bad, but like there's been glaring holes in most of the years, whether it be the offensive line early in his career. I mean, you think back to the Super Bowl run they made. I mean, that offensive line was just Swiss cheese. The defense last year, it's like, just give this guy a little something, man. And I think he's going to run with it. So, like you said, if the defense can just be top 20, like just if they score 30-plus points, you got to find a way to win the game. Like, the defense has got to make a stop or two somewhere and do something. But, yeah, I like this team, man.
I really do, too.
And I don't know if I'm just, like, fanboying over them because I like watching them because they're fun to watch, or if I think it's founded because, I mean, they lost games. Here's some of the games they lost last year. 1 point to the Chiefs, 5 points to the Commanders, 3 points in overtime to the Ravens, 1 point against the Ravens later in the year. In those games, they scored, like you mentioned this, 25, 33, 38, 34. The offense was doing its part in those games.
And what's crazy about some of those games, man, the first half of those games, the offense and defense were just getting cut up in some of those games. And then they were just come roaring out in the second or out of halftime and get back into games and score an ungodly amount. And I think this team's going to be – I think people think the defense is going to be bad, but I think it's going to be an improved unit. And the Bengals are right there for possibly a 1 seed, even in the entire AFC, if not the division title.
Mm-hmm. I agree. All right, that leaves us with the division winner, the Ravens.
I just couldn't help how loaded this roster is. And the defense, I will say the defense was a little overrated last year. I think if like you just asked the casual football fan, like, hey, the Ravens had a really good defense, they could get run on. Like that, the run stopping on that defense wasn't fantastic at times. I really liked you just name some of the guys. Roquan Smith's in the middle, Trenton Simpson, Kyle Vanoy, an older guy. I love the secondary. Nate Wiggins, Kyle Hamilton's a freaking stud. I love the addition of Malachi Starks as a rookie, and I think he's going to earn a starting spot. In him and Hamilton as safeties are, I think, 2 of the best in the league. You bring in Jair Alexander, you can say what you will, but it's still a guy that's been in the league a long time. And I actually really like that, an underrated piece of that secondary. If Alexander's not playing well, a former Cowboy, former Bengal, Cheeto Awuzie, kind of as a depth piece. I think this defense has gotten a little bit deeper than they were last year. Last year, they were banged up, especially the second half of the season. The defense is going to be at least average to above average. And then the offense is just, it's good, man. And, I put on here, is anyone worried about Derrick Henry? And then I put, I'm not until I see it. And not until I see it, man. I have not seen, unless it's been an injury, I've not seen Derrick Henry have a bad season in the NFL.
Yeah, he hasn't taken a step back at all.
I have all the confidence in the world that Derrick Henry's going to do Derrick Henry things. And then, you still got Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman. They bring in DeAndre Hopkins, which was a signing, and he doesn't need to be their number one receiver.
No, just milk.
Yeah.
Just milk whatever's left out of him. If he can make a big third down catch here or there, just old Wiley vetting it up on some young corner that ends up on him.
Even the offensive line, I'm like, God, Ronnie Stanley, like Tyler Linderbaum, Roger Rosengartner, like these guys can play. Rosenberger. These guys can really play, man. They win the division. I have them winning 13 games.
Yeah, I don't have any questions about the talent, the people in the right places. There's not a glaring hole at any position, I don't think. Great head coach. The question is just, when the lights shine brightest in the playoffs, can they get it done?
Yeah.
Since Lamar's been the starter, lost in the divisional round, lost in the divisional round, lost in the wild card, won in the divisional, lost in the AFC Championship game, lost in the divisional round. 6 years they've gotten past the divisional round one time. Yep. There's got to be, and it looks like a different team too. And maybe not the whole team, but Lamar Jackson looks like a little bit of a different player in the playoffs. It's been better the last couple of years, and I was kind of not a Lamar knocker, but not a Lamar believer. I've come around a little bit more on that. He's taking better care of the ball. He still has a little bit of a turnover issue, I think. Not a huge one, but in the big moments, it feels like gets a little loose with it.
Yep.
But he's got to get it done in the playoffs. He's too talented not to, and it's just, you got to get over that step. And sometimes you got to fail and fail and fail and run up against the wall 100 times before you run through it. But you got to start running through it at this point in your career. You are a veteran quarterback at this point. It's time to push yourself over the hill because you've got the team around you still. And I think that was a little bit of a worry when they had to pay him, but they've paid him. They've kept the team around him. You got to do it. You got to push the team over the edge when the playoffs come around. This is
a team ready for the Super Bowl. And when you were talking a little bit too, man, the NFL is it's such a tough, heartbreaking league. If Mark Andrews doesn't drop that ball, are we having a totally different conversation right now?
Probably.
You know what I mean?
That's probably
it just that, but it's such a tough league, man. One play can define an entire season, it feels like. So, but I think they're going to have a really great year.
I'll say this, and let me know if you think I'm wrong. I think if this team doesn't make the AFC Championship game, they're going to look back on this year and feel like it was a disappointment.
100%. I 100% agree. This is a team that's ready for that. Yes.
Yeah, I don't feel like I was going out on a cliff too far there. Anything else from the AFC North?
Really good division. Let's get to the other side. Let's go NFC North, man. Let's go.
All right, NFC North. Just a little reminder from last year. The records were as such. The Detroit Lions 15-2. A little bit of surprising Minnesota Vikings 14-3. Green Bay Packers 11-6, and the Chicago Bears 5-12. Start us where you wish, MJ.
Well, we'll do the same thing we've been doing the last couple of weeks. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up a little bit. I know it kind of spoils the division winner sometimes by the end, but I think it's easier to get some of the other teams out of the way. And we will start there in Minnesota. I think Minnesota.
Okay, big drop.
Yes,
big drop for him.
I really like this team, man. Like they were a big surprise of mine last year, obviously, because you know how I have felt about Sam Darnold and company and stuff. I think he started to show a little bit of kind of who he is towards the end of the season. A little bit kind of fell off the high. This offense around J.J. McCarthy in his first year is really good. You have an older running back, which I don't love, but you bring in Jordan Mason to kind of back him up a little bit, and Aaron Jones. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, I think he's going to miss the first 4 games for didn't he bet or something? Or what did he do? He did something. He did something not legal in the NFL because he got his
fans cry foul on Jordan Addison conspiracy. 3 games to start the 2025 regular season for a wet, reckless, and DUI adjacent offense.
Right. Okay, he's just getting a little loose, just getting a little loose.
He was betting with his life. He was. You may say.
You still got Hawkinson, the offensive line. We talked a little bit about that when we talked about Seattle and Sam Darnold, just how good that offensive line was. They will be probably starting a rookie from Ohio State and Donovan Jackson. But Ryan Kelly's a good center. Will Fries is a good guard. Like these guys, they're still going to be good up front. I think they're going to run the ball. I just don't. I know I feel like I can read your mind a little bit, but like training camp and preseason has not been kind to J.J. McCarthy, and I get it. He's a rookie, but this team isn't ready for a rookie quarterback to have a lot of those moments. So that to me, there's just going to be the natural fall off from throwing in a rookie quarterback. It's like almost down to a science. Like it's very rare for your Jaden Daniels and your Dak Prescotts and all these guys that just come in and just start rattling off. Ben Roethlisberger from back in the day, just rattling off wins. So to me, I have them winning 5 games or 4. I'm sorry, 4 games. That's really low.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know.
Their over-under is 8.5.
Yeah. And I could be just less on them. Like I said, this is a really good team, but there has to be some 3, 4, 5-win teams in the league. It happens every year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't love it in Minnesota right now.
They won a number of close games last year.
Yep.
Beat the Packers by 2, the Jets by 6, won a 12-7 game against the Jaguars, beat the Bears by 3 in overtime, beat the Seahawks by 3, beat the Packers by 2 again.
You remember last year, man, like
some tight games.
When we would talk about it, whether it was on here or just like in our regular lives, talking to each other, like it felt like they were just getting every roll of the dice. You know what I mean? Like it was the opposite of what the Bengals were getting.
Yeah.
Like it just never felt like it bounced the Bengals' way, but everything bounced Minnesota's way. And we were just waiting each week. It was like, well, all right, when's Sam Darnold going to Sam Darnold? And when's everything?
And then they get rolled in the playoffs.
Yeah. So I think this is a team that was teetering a little bit last year. And I just think it's going to kind of fall the other way. And I feel bad. I don't hate Minnesota, but I know you do. I know. That's how I feel.
No, I tend to agree with you. I think 4 might be less than I'd go. I would think 6 or 7. Now, granted, you've got all the numbers put together, so you say 6 or 7, it's got to come from somewhere. So I agree that I think they're probably at the bottom of the division this year.
Yeah, they remind me a lot of the Browns. That's so awful to say. Sorry, Minnesota fans.
Hey!
They do. Like a good team that you want to like, but you just don't know what you're getting at quarterback at all. I don't know.
Yeah, and the thing about J.J. McCarthy that scared, you named some of the other guys you named that came in and had instant success as a rookie, Jaden Daniels, Dak Prescott, Ben Roethlisberger, big, supremely talented quarterbacks. Yeah. J.J. McCarthy's not overly big. And I don't know that he's got this supreme arm talent, speed, quickness, elusiveness. If you just look at him across the board, you're like, yeah, he's solid. he doesn't strike you as like a guy that's going to be like, hell yeah, like I'm gonna fit it in a bunch of windows all over the place. Like I think JJ McCarthy in a couple years in the right situation can be a successful quarterback. And hey, we haven't seen him play an actual like real regular season game. Right? He was out all of last year, right? I'm not misremembering. So hey, we'll find out a heck of a lot more this year. But like he doesn't strike me as, you know, like you said, it's you take preseason and training camp stuff with a grain of salt, but like when the bad reports come out, it's tougher. Like everybody is just dying to give you a great report out of camp. When the reports just keep being like, it's so-so.
Yeah, J.J. McCarthy had a tough day today at practice. You know, J.J. McCarthy threw 2 picks in the 2-minute drill today. Yeah, like that kind of stuff. And just kind of saying what you were saying a little bit, you know me, man, like you got to show me a little bit. Like it's the same conversation we had with Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert. It's the same with some of these rookies. Like you got to show me a little bit first. And I didn't really even see him slinging around in Michigan.
Yeah, I was a little wrong. He's bigger than I thought. He's 6'3". You kind of looked at me funny when I said that. So
he's got the size. He's got, I think.
Yeah.
But even like arm talent, I'm like, there were some games in college where he threw it 7 times or something. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He just plays. Maybe it was the way he lined up at Michigan. He just made himself look smaller.
There's some big boys up front too. Some big boys. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Minnesota fans. Sorry. I don't know.
All right, so the Chicago Bears?
Yeah, we got the Bears next.
Okay, good.
An improved team, I believe.
Yes.
An improved team. I really do think that. To me, it all falls on Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. I think that's the majority of what you'll hear in media stuff too, but I believe it. I do think the offseason, if you were to like grade everybody and say who won it, I think the Bears probably won the offseason in the entire NFL.
For the 87th year in a row now.
But for a long time, I tried to watch the Washington Redskins, Washington football team, and Washington Commanders try to win every offseason with guys like Albert Haynesworth and, you know, all these big signings and stuff, and they still won 4 or 5 games. So to me, that doesn't always mean a lot. But man, Montez Sweat, Grady Jarrett, Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Jalen Johnson in corner, Kevin Byard, the safety's really good. Like Stevenson, the other corner is good. The offense, you got DeAndre Swift, the Johnson kid, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Luther Burden II, Cole Kmet. Like you can kind of go on and on. And the offensive line, I think, got better. And they put some picks and free agent signings in there as well. Like this team really doesn't have a lot of holes in it. And they didn't lose a lot. Keenan Allen, Gerald Everett, and Mercedes Lewis were kind of their big 3 of their losses this offseason. Like nobody's
Mercedes Lewis is old as dirt.
Like so to me it's like
Keenan Allen's old as dirt.
I like Ben Johnson a lot. It's crazy that he's only 39. I heard that last night in the preseason game when I was watching it. Yeah. Holy shit, dude. That's me basically on the sidelines. Like I'm 36. Yeah. Like that's me running the Bears. Basically.
Just 36,
yeah, just 36, brother. Just 36.
You say so.
I am. I don't feel it some days. But, no, man, I really like this team. I do think they're going to struggle because I believe in the 2 other teams in this division a little bit more. But I think they could be a surprise to some teams. Mm-hmm. But I have them going 6-11. Which isn't that exciting for Bears fans, but I think there's going to be a lot more improvements. Like I think this team's going to look and feel different this year.
There were flashes out of them last year.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, they're coming out of the basement. Like Caleb Williams showed some legit talent. He had some moments where it was ugly, but again, rookie. And like the talent's there with him, it seems. It's just like, can he put it all together? You know, settle into the NFL. Again, they've, like you mentioned, they've surrounded him with good talent. Like, does he make the step? Or is it like a little sophomore slumpy? Like what? It's so, you know, lazy almost to be like, oh, it rides on the quarterback. But like it does with this team, like there's really not a way around it, I don't think.
If I was going to tell you that the Bears win 9 or 10 games this year, I don't think that's out of the question. Like I think that's
I don't either.
I think that's a ceiling for them, like right to be there. That would be super successful. To me, that's 90% on Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. Mm-hmm. I think that means DeAndre Swift is like a monster this year and stays healthy. And I also think if I was going to predict anything, if they're going to be successful on offense, DJ Moore might end up being the third best receiver this year for them.
Okay.
Like I love Luther Burden in everything that I've watched of him. I've seen 2 preseason games now from the Chicago Bears. That guy's fucking good, dude. Like, he reminds me of a mix of Rome Odunze and DJ Moore together. Like, I think he's going to be really good. He could end up being, this could be like a 1A, 1B, 1C wide receiver group for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's scary.
Damn.
That for other teams, and if you're a Bears fan, it feels really good. Like, the offense could be really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love hearing that.
But I think the floor is like 6 or 7, ceiling 9 or 10. I just went on the low side.
I mean, you gotta put, and they're in a tough division.
Yes.
Like they're gonna play the Lions and the Packers 4 times.
Yep. In Minnesota's, even though I have them winning 4 games, like that's still not an easy out for anybody.
Yeah, you got to go play against their defense.
Yes.
All right, MJ.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We got a tie. If that makes you feel any better.
Tie? Hey! That makes me feel real good.
We got a tie. So you're...
All right, do the Lions first.
All right. Then. Well, I do have the Packers ending up being second due to tiebreakers. I do.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Like the Lions, we talked about it last year, man. I like Dan Campbell a lot as a head coach. I think this is going to be still a really good defense. Hutchinson, DJ Reader, Marcus Davenport, I think was a really good addition for them. Was he an addition? No, he wasn't. He was on there. I love like Tyleik Williams, the kid they just drafted from Ohio State as a backup D tackle. I think that's awesome. Jack Campbell, Terrion Arnold, Brian Branch is a stud. Like the defense, I think is going to be good. The question for them is always, are they going to be healthy? It almost felt like a little Ravens-ish to me a little bit, where it's like the beginning of the year, they were a solid defense and injuries started to pile up. And as the year went on, it was like, they can't stop anything. Like everything's going haywire. And then it was up to that offense to just have to score Joe Burrow numbers of 35, 40 points.
I mean, they gave up 45 points in the playoffs to the Commanders.
It's tough. So obviously health is always an issue in the NFL. But this offense is still really good. People forget that David Montgomery was hurt a lot last year, and like he's still there. Like that's a really good running back for behind Gibbs.
If they don't get bit by the injury bug last year, I think the back half of the season plays out a little different.
I love their offensive line, dude. I know I talk about the big guys a lot, but like Taylor Decker, Penei Sewell are really good tackles. The Glasnow kid, the center, Rutledge at right guard, like these guys can move some bodies and protect Goff, and that's what you're going to need to do because he's not a mover. He's got receivers that can catch the ball. People are going nuts for that Isaac Tesla kid. From Arkansas, wide receiver they just drafted. They're basically calling him the next Puka Nacua. Like he's just going to kind of jump into the NFL and just be kind of incredible. Like this team has a ton of talent. I like this team a lot, and I have them winning 11 games along with the Packers.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a ton to say about the Lions. I think the Lions are one of those teams like you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Like there's no huge additions, huge subtractions. You know, Jared Goff, we've got the tape on him. Like he is who he is. If you get him in a situation where he can, run the ball first and really set some stuff up off the play action and things like that, like you're going to put him in a successful position. He'll do well for you. If, like you said, if he's got to go out and be Joe Burrow, that's not going to be a recipe for success. And the defense needs to stay healthy and stop some people. I mean, it's one of those ones where like it sounds lazy when you say it, but sometimes the easy take is the correct take. Yeah. Like that's a thing I live by. Like, hey, the answer doesn't always have to be hard and complicated and crazy. It's like their defense has to stop somebody sometime. You got to run the ball well to set up Jared Goff.
Yep.
Like that is the secret to success in Detroit. And if you can get them off of that, then you're going to have success against them. If you can't, then they're going to have a lot of success against you. And they're going to play their balls off because the guys seem to love playing for Dan Campbell. So it just tends to be, the easy, lazy, whatever you want to call it answer, but I think it's the right one.
Yeah, and I brought up the whole, offense and defense. And I said I like the defense. My only second question with the Lions, besides all the health stuff, because I don't know if they're like a real deep team, is the pass rush besides Hutchinson. Like you hope Davenport can be an average pass rusher and maybe some of the D-tackle can help them in that a little bit. But pass rush was kind of a rough spot for that team, underrated a little bit, besides Hutchinson. So you really hope that some of these guys are taking next steps or improve a little bit there. But besides that, I'm just worried about them staying healthy. This is a good team.
Yeah. All right. Main event. Talk to me about it.
All right.
What do you think?
You know what? Let me do this. I wrote down, four things. I'll give you an easy one first. I'm going to just ask you a question, Wally. Okay? Jordan Love in the offense. All right? Let's start there. Do you think this team's going to be good at running the football?
They better be. I think they will.
Okay.
Though.
Do you like their offensive line? Obviously, you got Josh Jacobs and in company there too, but
there's a lot of shakeups going on in the offensive line. They brought in Aaron Banks, I believe is his name. Yep. Where'd my thing go? I found my thing of my list of all the people that they did. They're moving Elton Jenkins over to center to kind of give the center position a little bit more, consistency. They got Zach Tom. The right side of the line, the right tackle and the right guard seem to be set. The left side is going to be kind of new and in
I was going to say, I think 3 starters are pretty well off.
Yes.
Yeah. I think
center to the right.
I think my biggest question is offensive tackle between Jordan Morgan and Rasheed Walker. Kind of going for spots.
A battle.
Yeah.
That's a battle that's going on in camp right now. They're basically splitting. Last I read, they're basically splitting reps, and that's the question. It seems like Aaron Banks is going to be the guy at guard. And one of the things that they said in the offseason when they went out and got Aaron Banks is the Packers have, in the past, generally gone with the approach of smaller, a little more athletic, a little more interchangeable offensive linemen that they can kind of plug and play anywhere across the line.
More swing stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they felt like they'd been getting bullied a little bit by some of these bigger defensive lines, and they wanted to change the approach a little bit. They saw the way Josh Jacobs runs the ball and wanted to kind of fit the line a little bit more to his running style, as opposed to like an Aaron Jones, get it out in space. Like Josh Jacobs was just banging the ball right down your throat. So they've kind of adjusted to that. So there's definitely going to be an adjustment period once the real games start in kind of a different maneuver up front, if you will. So I think it seems to be the right decision all in all. I mean, if you looked at the Packers line the last couple of years in comparison to other offensive lines across the league, it was smaller. Mm-hmm. And I think it showed at times. So I do think they should be able to run the ball well again this year. Need Josh Jacobs to stay healthy, obviously. But if he has anything like what he was last year, like that's a recipe for success.
I agree.
In the run game.
I think the unit up front's deep in a lot of positions because of some of that swing tackle and kind of guards going to center and centers going to guards. And I like their depth. And I mentioned this a podcast or two ago with you how much I respect the Packers when it comes to their offensive line development and coaching. And I don't know their offensive line coach, but he should be paid well, whoever that is.
I'm blanking on his name here. I'll get it pulled up here.
So obviously Josh Jacobs staying healthy. I will say though, man, you drafted Marshawn Lloyd last year as a running back in the draft, and we were really excited about that pick. So don't sleep on.
Well, he's hurt again.
I understand. They still got Emmanuel Wilson as the backup in Green Bay. Like he, whatever, a little fire and ice there, I guess you can call it, or lightning and thunder. But like, if Lloyd gets healthy and stuff, he could be a nice little 2 or 3 touches a game. And if Jacobs goes down for some reason for a little bit,
don't you dare say that.
No. I don't wish that on him. So here's my next question. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball a little bit.
Luke Butkus is the offensive
Hell
line
of a name,
coach.
Dude.
He's been the O-line coach since 2022 and was the assistant O-line coach since 2019.
He does a hell of a job. You go get it, Butkus. I love it, man. My other question, let's go to the defense a little bit for you. Is this because you have to admit they lost some secondary stuff. Mm-hmm. Alexander is now a Raven, Corey Ballantyne, Eric Stokes. Those are at least 3 that you lost in the secondary. You bring in really just Nate Hobbs. Is this a secondary reload or rebuild?
It's a secondary problem.
You think so?
Yes.
So you think it's a rebuild, kind of? Okay.
Yeah. Nixon and Hobbs at corner is not.
You don't
ideal.
like Nixon?
I think he's fine in like a nickel spot.
Okay.
When he's like your guy, you got to send out there, and Nate Hobbs is the other guy. Like, I went looking back for a message I sent to Bill when like the Packers kind of first released the depth chart. I just said Nixon and Hobbs at corner, huh? And he just responded, "Not good."
It sounds like a buddy cop movie. Nixon and Hobbs.
Yes.
In theaters, September 13th.
like a late 80s, early 90s buddy cop movie.
I tend to agree with you when it comes to the secondary. That's probably my biggest question on defense. I think their front 7 is really solid.
Yeah. I will say this. 6th in scoring defense last year, 5th in total defense. Yeah. And I was shocked when I heard this. 8th in the league in sacks.
Yeah.
When it feels like they never got pressure all year. Like I was shocked to hear that. So, there are some talented guys up front, like Rashawn Gary. They still got Kenny Clark in the middle. Devontae Wyatt was showing some stuff. If Lucas Van can take a next step, like that's something there.
And their linebackers, I like Isaiah McDuffie, Quay Walker, like that. There's worse. Trust me.
The Campbell kid.
Yep.
What Devondre is it? Devondre.
I don't have that one written down, but yes, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like I think that's really good, and honestly, man, like that maybe that hides the secondary a little bit, as you just said. Like maybe they're another top 5, top 10 pressure defense, and that's always going to help out your secondary.
I think it's got to be pressure creates the issues. Now, the good thing about the secondary is you got Xavier McKinney standing in the back, in the middle. Like, hey, is he going to have 7 interceptions through 7 games again this year? No, but like he is a high-quality, all-pro level safety in the NFL. And it's not going to hide everything from the corners, but just knowing he's sitting there over the top will make quarterbacks, maybe not second guess, but take a second thought.
Alabama, right?
Well,
Alabama.
Yeah.
And then they have
I believe so.
Williams and Bullard, right? Were the other 2?
Yep.
For the other free safety? Yeah. I think this is one of the deepest rosters.
And I think in
the division.
It's year 2.
Besides the Bears.
It's year 2 with Jeff Hafley, who came in and made some changes. He took him over to a 3-4, so there was an adjustment period to that. Like, we're in year 2, same guys, same playbook, all that kind of stuff, same schemes. Like, I would have to think they're able to grow in that and kind of become more comfortable. They really changed up a lot of scheme from year to year. So, and the defense was a large improvement over where it's been. A little less seeing, 3rd and 9 and guys playing 10 yards deep, which was nice to see, because there was nothing more just infuriating.
Just giving up
than
the 5-yard slants over and over again and drags and
that. Yeah, it's 3rd and 7 and they give up 5 yards through the air, and then the guy's got to come crashing down from 5 yards deeper than that to try and make a first down saving tackle. So,
all right. So before I let you add anything else, I got 2 more, and it's kind of like we can kind of combo it a little bit. What about this wide receiver B room? And what I mean by that is, how I feel about Matthew Golden. I was super excited for you guys on the draft
I'm
night.
excited, and he's shown out so far in preseason. And again, I'm going to echo what I've said a million times before. Like, it's preseason. We got to take a beat. But, like, he has looked good. He's not dropping the ball in camp. That said, in that first preseason game, there was, 4 drops in, the first 6 plays. So who knows?
Obviously, we don't really know about Matthew Golden as a rookie. And I will say wide receiver rookies can come in the league.
Their wide receiver room is also beat to hell already.
And that's what I guess I'm getting at. So how does this work out? I have to think, as an outside fan, Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden are locks to probably be your 1 and 2s. They're going to be out there most of the time. Is it Jatavian Wicks? Is it Romeo Dobbs? Is it Christian Watson? Is it the other rookie, the Savion Williams kid? They brought in Mecole Hardman.
That's right. I forgot that.
So to me, it's you got a room full of B- to B+ receivers right now. And I'll throw Jaden Reed and Matthew Golden into that conversation. So,
that's all we can call them right now. And maybe Matthew Golden something different.
Who's the go-tos in Green Bay?
There isn't. Yeah. There isn't. I think what you're going to see a lot of, you're going to see, if you can keep people healthy, you're going to see a lot of different formations out there. You're going to see a lot of different looks from receivers. I think, if I would guess, and if I'm doing it myself, and what I've seen from them so far is they want to have Watson or the other receiver.
Wicks?
Xavier.
Oh, Williams?
The one they drafted.
Xavier?
Xavier Williams.
Yep.
They want someone like that on the field that gives them the deep ball, stretch the defense possibility. Because then you've got guys like Dobbs, Golden, and Jaden Reed, who are smaller receivers, but fast as hell, that can work kind of underneath routes. But they got to have somebody capable of stretching the field a little bit. And Matthew Golden can do that a little bit too, it appears, because that was a little bit of an issue last year. And it's been an issue because Watson hasn't been able to stay healthy. He's got that deep ball playmaker ability. If you can get something like that will just, force the defense to have to think about the deep ball, I think it opens up a lot. But I think, to answer your question, you're going to see a lot of receiver by committee. There's going to be a lot of different combos of guys out there. You've got Tucker Kraft, Craftiac and cheese, baby.
Yes, sir.
So you got him out there as a little safety valve. We'll see if they get anything out of Musgrave. He's been kind of banged up, and he was the tight end that everybody thought Tucker Kraft is when they were coming out. So I think it's receiver by committee, and there's going to be tons of combinations, tons of different looks. But I think the hope is they have somebody on the field that can stretch it a little bit to open up some of the underneath stuff to give a lot of different options for Love.
I agree. I do think it could be a really good year for Tucker Kraft, especially fantasy tight end type stuff. I don't know if it's top, but he could end up being a top 8 tight end for fantasy. He could have a nice year. So he
had some really great games last year.
A really good tight end. So my last question is the guy who's getting all these guys the ball. Everybody was on Jordan Love's dick 2 years ago, and last year everybody seemed to be like, "Well, no, I wasn't. It was just the tip, It was just the tip in there. I wasn't completely
just
on
see how
it.
it feels."
And I was always kind of okay, I think he's good, but let's hold on here. do you think he kind of after kind of an up and down season last year? I think in fairness, like he had some games we were like, what the hell what just happened? Is he going to be more consistent in what we've seen in the past of like, this guy can really play. This guy is a guy that you're going to end up paying 40, 50, 60 million dollars some year.
Well, they are paying.
I know. I'm just saying, like, again, because he's young enough where he's going to be available.
He's going to get another one if he plays well. Well, if you go back 2 years, he was terrible to start the year. But again, it was his first year playing. He got incredibly hot at the end of the year, had an incredible game in the playoffs against the Cowboys. They should have beat the 49ers and couldn't get it done that first year. Comes back last year, is injured to start the year, and again, up and down. And I think that's who he is. I think he's an up and down guy. Like, he's much more Brett Favre than he is Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Like, if you lay out the archetypes, like, I don't think he's either of those players right now, but, like, his archetype is much more Brett Favre than it ever was Aaron Rodgers. He's going to try and fit the ball into some places he shouldn't. He's going to throw some dumb interceptions, but then he's going to get some balls into places and you're like, I can't believe he threw that there, and it's going to work out. So I think the up and down thing, and he's dealing with he already had some surgery on the thumb I think it was the thumb.
Throwing hand or
non? His non-throwing hand. They were hoping for him to be back in practice, I believe, this week, ahead of week 3. I don't think week 3 preseason. I don't think he's going to play from the last I read, but they at least hope to get him throwing again in preparation for the year. But I think it's going to be an up and down thing. Like, this isn't going to be like the guy who just trots out every week and is just your consistent level, and maybe a little spike up of high stuff. But like, I think we're going to see ups and downs, and it's just going to be something we live with as Packers fans. The highs are going to be high. Like, there's talent there, and the highs are going to be impressive, and the lows are going to leave you thinking, what the fuck is going on? Like, what are we doing? Like, and I think the big thing is with the Packers, to give him success, don't abandon the run. Like, if you make this guy drop back and throw it 45 times a game, when you have the volatility that you're going to have with him, you're going to get some bad performances. And hey, there's going to be a couple games a year where you get down early and you got to throw the shit out of the ball, and you're just going to have to live with what comes out of it. But in the games, if you just go down a score, don't abandon the run. Like, we talked about at the start, talking about the Packers. Josh Jacobs is a stud. It seems like they've got the line set up to do some good things. Don't go away from it too quickly. Like, stick with it. Let the run set up the pass. Let the run set up the play action. And just put Jordan Love in a spot to succeed, even if you're down 7 or 10 points. Because, like, this offense still has enough pieces that, like, they can get hot if the right situations come to them. So just don't abandon the game plan.
You can't see it. Damn it.
Ah,
you took the words right out of my mouth, Wally. I was going to just ask you to give me 10 seconds to read my last part of my prediction. Run the football, play good defense. The wide receiver room will work its way out. This is a good roster, a deep roster. Just run the football, play good defense. The wide receiver stuff will work its way out. Quarterbacks, at least at floor, an above average quarterback, you can get there. You can. This is a good enough roster to make some noise.
And they've aged up a little bit. Like, they were the youngest roster in the league the past 2 years, or if maybe not last year, maybe they were, second youngest or whatever it was. So, like, they've grown a little bit as, professional football players. So I think that's a good sign. That said, if you look at their first 9 games this year, it is tough. Yeah. Open with the Lions. Short week right away with the Commanders. They go to the Browns, to the Cowboys, host the Bengals, to the Cardinals, to the Steelers, host the Panthers, host the Eagles. Yeah. That is the first 9 games.
And I forgot to mention this when we talked Detroit, who I have winning the division, tied with Green Bay at 11-6. The Lions have 11 opponents that made the playoffs last year this year on their schedule,
Damn.
tied with the Eagles. So obviously the Lions and Packers being in the same division are playing a lot of the same teams. Yep. Yeah,
because when you go to the back half of the Packers schedule, it's not like it gets a ton easier. Like you have the Lions again; they go to the Broncos. The Ravens come to town a couple days after Christmas. Like they're going to have to be on their A game to win 11, 12 games this year. I don't see them winning that many games. I've got them at a 9 or a 10 win team.
I like it. I mean, I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
I've never been like my teams like are great. Like I am definitely like a little bit of the pessimist fan, and where I see the holes and I see the struggles, and I'm like, so I'm never like, oh yeah, my team, we're going to the Super Bowl. Like there were 2 years.
Leave that to the other Dallas Cowboys fans to do. Not this one, but the other ones. Leave that to them.
See, I think I got my Packers stuff out of me.
I like it, dude. You did great, man. I feel like my questions just helped you kind of just, hey, let's think about this for a second. A little bit, Hey. All right. You want to go? You want to get it? You want to get the whole how it's going to – we don't even have to watch the NFL this season.
MJ's going to tell us
I'm going to tell you how it works.
Every team.
All right, so I'm gonna start in the AFC. All right. AFC East standings are as this. The Buffalo Bills will win the division at 13-4. The New England Patriots will finish second at 9-8. The Jets at 7-10, and the Dolphins at 6-11. The only team to make the playoffs in that division will be the division-winning Buffalo Bills. The AFC South.
You said Patriots had 11 wins?
9.
9. Okay.
When we did the preview for the AFC East, I said 10. Once I did the whole working out, it was 9. So a couple of these are slight changes. AFC South, we got the Houston Texans winning it in a barn burner at 10-7. The Jaguars at 9-8. The Colts at 6-11, and the Titans at 4-13. The Texans.
So that's a one playoff team too. Then
yep. And then we move on.
So we got 5 playoff teams coming up.
We got the AFC West. The Denver Broncos were my surprise. The AFC West 11-6 win the division. The Chargers and Chiefs are second and third at 10-7, and the Raiders at 7-10. Best division in football. 3 teams make it out: the Broncos, Chargers, and Chiefs. And the AFC North, we just wrapped up. The Ravens at 13-4, Bengals at 12-5, Steelers at 9-8, and Browns at 5-12, with the Ravens and Bengals making the playoffs.
Don't mind me. Okay. Keep going, MJ.
The NFC East, we have the Eagles winning the division with a tiebreaker of the Commanders at 11-6. The Cowboys, which I predicted 10 wins. Now that I've seen some preseason games, now I say 8 wins. They will be 8-9, the Dallas Cowboys. The Giants will be 6-11. The Eagles and Commanders make it out of the NFC East. The NFC South, we got the Tampa Bay Bucks winning the division at 11-6. The Falcons at 8-9. The Panthers at 7-10, and the Saints at 2-15. The Bucks win the division and make the playoffs. And wrapping up the NFC West, we have the Rams winning the division at 11-6, Seahawks 9-8, Cardinals 9-8, 49ers 7-10, with the Rams and Seahawks squeaking in to the playoffs. And then in the North, we have the Lions and Packers at 11-6, both making the playoffs. The Bears, Minnesota 6-11, 4-13. So,
bookmark it, people.
Hold on. We ain't done yet. In the wild card round, we got the Bengals traveling to Houston. We have the Chargers at the Broncos, and we have the Chiefs at the Bills in the wild card round.
Woo!
The Bengals win 28-24 over the Texans. The Broncos win 24-14 over the Chargers, and the Bills
playoff success.
The Bills in Buffalo beat the Chiefs 34-24. Then in the NFC, we got the Commanders at the Bucks. The Bucks are going to win that game, 31-24. The Packers at the Lions in the wild card round. The Packers go into Detroit and win 30-27. The Seahawks are going to the Eagles, and the Eagles win 24-10. In the divisional round, we have the Broncos going to Buffalo. We have the Bengals at the Ravens. The Ravens were the 1 overall seed in the AFC. We got the Bucks going to the Eagles. We have the Packers at the Rams. The Rams were the number 1 seed in the NFC. The Bills win.
That's a wild take, by the way.
The Bills win 20-17 against the Broncos in Buffalo. We have the Bengals and Ravens. The Ravens win 30-21. I think it's the end of the Bengals season there. The Buccaneers go into Philly and win 24-21 in Philadelphia.
Okey-dokey.
The Packers go to LA to play the Rams, and they lose 30-20.
Boo!
Sorry.
You know what happens in that game, MJ? I'm wearing this afterwards. I'm wearing this. Because the Packers...
You just said they were going to win 8 games, man. They're not even making the playoffs with 8 wins.
They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to the Super Bowl.
And then, in the conference championships, we got a matchup that we've been begging for years in the AFC. We got the Buffalo Bills going down to Baltimore, the 2 seed versus the 1 seed. And we got the Buccaneers, the surprise of the NFC, getting through, going out to LA to play the Rams. The Baltimore Ravens beat the Bills 28-24. The Rams beat the Buccaneers, the Cinderella story, Tampa Bay, 27-24 in a really tough game. And we have the Ravens versus the Rams in the Super Bowl in February of 2026. And Mr. Lamar Jackson wins an MVP, and they win 24-18 in the Super Bowl, beating the LA Rams.
How about it? Just cancel the season now.
Just cancel it. Put in your bets. Lock it in.
MJ, I'm so excited.
I'm not.
So excited.
I'm not. This excited me more than the actual season's going to.
Oh, we never mentioned the news floating around today that they're actually shopping Micah Parsons.
I don't care. I hope by the time this podcast drops, like, they trade everybody. That's what I hope.
I saw on McAfee, Ian Rappaport was actually hosting today, and he was like, "Oh, the Packers are very interested."
They do say that.
I'm going to get out ahead of something right now. The Packers will have a lot of conversations with the Dallas Cowboys. There will be no move made towards Micah Parsons by the Green Bay Packers.
Honestly, man, like, And
I will go this far. Micah Parsons will play the year with the Dallas Cowboys.
Probably.
Guaranteed.
That's what I said.
And so will Hendrickson with the Bengals. Yeah. Like, those guys are playing
for those
with their teams this year.
I agree.
Yeah.
I will say this before we wrap up here. Last night I got in my feels about the Dallas Cowboys after all the prep for this today. And I watched the Football Life of Tony Romo. God, I miss that guy. God, I miss him. Ah, man.
Just out playing golf now, man.
He's
all over the Wisconsin amateur golf circuit.
Good old Burlington, Wisconsin. Just a legend. Yep. But I will say, after I got done, Jen and I are sitting there on the couch. She watched it with me, and I looked at her and I said, man, Romo deserved more. And then after a while, I said, I can't wait for a couple weeks from now for every Sunday, Monday, or Thursday to dictate my mood for the entire, 24 to 72 hours after the Cowboys play. And I just have this gut feeling, man, it's going to be a lot of pain this fall and winter.
Dude, I do not watch certain TV if the Packers lose.
Yeah.
I don't watch any sports TV the next day if the Packers lose.
It's hard.
And usually not on Wednesday. Or usually not until Wednesday will I start watching McAfee or Sports Center or anything. Not that I watch a ton of Sports Center, but NFL Live or any of that stuff.
It's going to be bad. It's going to be a great NFL season. I just know my season as a fan isn't going to mean anything, so that's depressing. So that's the hardest part. But I love the NFL.
Here's the happy part, MJ. As we sit here today,
don't say it.
On August 18th, there is not another weekend until the Super Bowl without football.
You are correct. That's exciting. And maybe Ohio State will be good.
They will.
So that's exciting.
There's a big matchup coming down the road in November or whatever it is. An undefeated Penn State team's going to roll into Columbus. They're going to be favored by about 3 points. They're going to have
could be the year.
A million chances to win the game, and it's going to go down in heartbreaking fashion.
Never know.
And Ohio State will beat them once again. They'll get now that it's a 12-team playoff. They'll win a couple early games against some scrub teams, a game at home, a game in an easy bowl game. They'll get to the semifinals. They'll fucking choke that away. So there, I just laid out the entire college football season for Penn State fans too.
Well, maybe, since last week I plugged the Full Range podcast. My podcast drops on Thursdays on Spotify and YouTube, presented by the Ole Walls House podcast, by the way. The next few months might be a lot of mental health minutes out of your boy MJ here. It might get a little ugly over there on that show. I'll try not to be too big of a downer, but Jesus. I'm glad I don't drop the show on Sundays or Mondays because that could get real bad. So,
you've seen me.
Yeah, I have.
Record Sunday night, and I'm either elated or just wanting to off myself.
Yeah. God, football's back. It's exciting. I can't wait.
It is. That'll be great. Well, man, thank you. I appreciate it. The draft prep, the live draft show this year, like you've given us just some great, hours of content this off season for football, MJ. Probably 4 or 5, like 12 hours worth of content here this off
plus
season.
All the hours of prep. I put in the work. I do try to put in the work.
It shows. So thank you for that. Everybody, don't forget to go check them out. And MJ, we'll definitely see you at some point in the season. We'll figure out a time.
I love it, man. Anytime.
Catch back up and review where we've been.